Uprising is going to be an absolute game changer for Flesh and Blood. The game has been seeing some turbulent times lately, both from the collectors and investors and the players. From a financial standpoint, the prices of cards and sealed product has come way down from its highs, and there are a non-zero amount of people feeling that the game is no longer going to last, and that it's not worth the time to invest in or carry the product. And from the player's perspective, well, after the Chain and Briar metas, which were genuinely broken, and the Starvo meta, which isn't as broken but people still really don't like it, there are a fair amount of players who are viewing Uprising as LSS's last chance to balance the game. Now, the first major change is going to be to the product itself. Uprising is the first set that is ditching the first edition and unlimited model that the game has been using up to this point. Instead, it is merging them together as a single product that is going to have both cold foils and rainbow foils available in it. The legendary cold foils and fables are going to be made much harder to pull, whereas the rainbow foil versions are going to be easier. And so it really feels like LSS is trying to address the collectability and availability issues that have been plaguing the game. Making cold foils incredibly rare again, as well as adding in the high-end altered art Marvel cards, is going to be a huge boon for collectors. This gives them something incredibly rare to chase without needing a whole special product for it. And yeah, this means that the cold foil legendaries and fables are probably going to be much more expensive than the rainbow foil versions, but honestly, that's how it was supposed to be anyways. But what about that pesky little meta game that players haven't been all too thrilled about lately? Now, I'm not one who has lost all hope of LSS being able to balance the game, but it can't be denied that there have been some serious hiccups along the way. One of the biggest issues since Monarch has been these over-the-top, powerful, dominant decks that just crush everything beneath them. There are a lot of people hoping that Uprising is the set that fixes the issues with competitive play. And it seems like we may be getting just that. As of the scripting and filming of this video, we are on day 2 of all the new Icelander lore that's dropping for Uprising, as well as some of the new cards. And oh my goodness, some of these new ice cards, they've got me thinking 2 things right now. The first is that I hate ice. The second is that this is what the game has needed. If there's going to be busted things like Sonata Arcanix, Starvo's ability, and everything Prism, then there needs to be equally strong cards on the opposite ends of the spectrum. And cards like Channel the Bleak Expanse are amazing at countering these over-the-top powerful decks. This card completely shuts off things like Sonata Arcanix and Herald of Erudition and slows down the meta. And when the meta slows down, that means that other heroes who don't have a chance right now might actually be able to edge their way into the top brackets. Now, at the moment, we haven't seen that many cards coming in the set, so it still remains to be seen whether they will balance the game, but I do know there's a fair amount of people who are going to be looking at this set as LSS's last chance to fix what they feel is broken. And the last game-changing thing we are seeing with Uprising is the expansion of the lore, and I am very excited for this. With what was mentioned in Fab 2.0, as well as a sudden random drop of Icelander's story, it is very clear that LSS is making lore more of a focal standpoint for the game. Now, this is something that doesn't appeal to all players, but it does appeal to other people who the game has not been able to draw in yet. They've done a great job of bringing competitive players, but now it's time to start appealing to the people who want to immerse themselves in a world more than they want to just win events. Uprising feels like it is going to be a defining moment for Flesh and Blood. There is a lot riding on the set, especially after the Fab 2.0 article, and there are very high expectations for this set to knock it out of the park. And while we don't know very much about the set just yet, James's enthusiasm behind it gives me a lot of hope that they really nailed it with this one. And so I'm gonna put my money, quite literally, as I'm gonna buy at least a couple cases, on LSS having figured out the issues that they've been having, and I really genuinely feel like if they nail this one, it will bring back some collectors, it will bring back some positivity around the game, it will make the players happy, and it will put Flesh and Blood back on the upswing, and we will see this game go for a very long time. And so that being said, if there's any rare cards that you've been thinking about picking up and you haven't done it yet, I know I have a nice list of them myself, you might want to start getting them sooner than later, because if this set is a success, I can definitely see the prices starting to climb for a lot of these coveted singles. So probably better to do it sooner than later, because something tells me that Uprising is going to be very good.